Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chris here, and for today's video, we're going to be doing another rapid-fire review of a Ghibli film. We're going to be talking about Grave of Fireflies. Now, I just want to preface this, guys. I didn't preface it before in the review for La Puta Castle. This will contain some spoilers. I'll try not to go and spoil everything, but it would be better if you have seen this movie and every other movie I talk about the Ghibli series before you watch this video. That way, I don't spoil something potentially for you guys, but it would be kind of hard to talk about the things I really enjoy without potentially spoiling something. So, with that being said, if you're still here, let's get right to it. First, we're going to talk about the artwork. Obviously, it's Ghibli, and you guys need to know this came out in, I believe, 1988, so it's coming on to the cusp of the 90s, but it's still in the 80s, so it's still an old movie, it's still limited, but for what they had at the time, it's Ghibli. You know I'm going to say it. The art was fantastic. The art was amazing. However, given the state of the movie, given the tone, and just everything that was going on at the time, the art is actually pretty saturated. It's pretty bleak. There's not a whole lot of colors. There's lots of browns and grays. There's lots of whites. And there's a lot of there's not a lot of popping color. You know, there's no rose fields. The most amazing thing to see in the movie is either when there's some explosions going on as like fire and bombs are being dropped onto their little villages, or when they're with the Fireflies. And when they're doing with the Fireflies, you have like the glow that they show on the characters' faces of the Firefly buzzing around, and they do a really good job with the shadowing with that. It looks really good. And sometimes it looks weird because you see like the characters' like facial creases and stuff, and it looks weird, but that's realistic. You would have that. So you see like the little sister Setsuko, and she has like old man like lines right here, but that's realistic. She has fat cheeks because she's a little kid. So it's nice. There's a lot of attention to detail, even given the limitations of the color palette. So, the art's fantastic. Next thing I want to talk about is, as much as it hurt to watch the movie, I loved how emotional it was. I loved how it made me react in a very personal way. If you guys don't know a lot about the movie, I'm not going to explain the whole plot, but if you're watching this and you obviously don't care about spoilers, or you've seen it for yourself, so you already know what I'm going to say, is like, the characters are dealing with a lot of trials and a lot of tribulation when it comes to America bombing Japan, and a whole lot of crap coming from that, and these two little kids who lose their mom at the beginning and are trying to survive now without a home, trying to live with their aunt, who's a real pain in the ass, and they're just trying to survive and get by with the world falling apart around them. So it is so emotional to try to watch these little kids grow. I think Seita, I don't know his exact age. Seita is like, I want to say 14 or 15, I'm guessing. I didn't look it up. And then Setsuko is definitely like less than 7. She's probably less than 5 or something. She's young. She's a little girl, and she's goddamn adorable. And all the characters except for the aunt they're so likable. You are so invested in them, which is what makes all the events of the movie so emotional and painful to witness, because you're invested in these characters. You feel the struggle that they're going through. You see all the emotion on their faces. You get to watch them cry. You get to watch them rejoice in small victories. You get to see the evolution of Seita as he's trying to be a man for his little sister. As he's trying everything to take care of his little sister, but inevitably she's sick and they're starving and there's no money, and they're constantly getting like air raided, and it's just constantly up and down, but he still finds a way to smile. He still finds a way to make his sister happy and do anything for her, and you are so fully invested in everything. So the movie, I love how emotional it made me, because you care. You give a crap about the characters because of, I guess, with the situation that they're presented with, you can't help but feel empathy for them. They made Setsuko, the little girl, they made her like a great representation of what it is to be a kid going through these situations. You know, she's a kid first and foremost, so she's whiny, she's bratty, she doesn't get what she wants, so she's crying, being loud, she's waking up at night screaming and crying. She wants her mom, but all she has is her brother, and she wants to go home, and she doesn't understand the situation, but at the same time, she can completely displace herself from that and be super cute and playful and try to be responsible and helping with chores and stuff that they do, and she's super judgmental of her aunt, and she is such a kid, but she's at the same time trying to cope with the loss of her home, with the understanding that her mom is gone. You see her have her quiet moments. She's just reserved. She's drawing something in the dirt with a stick. She's never felt these emotions to this level, so she's trying to place everything in her head. She's trying to grasp the situation, but at the same time, she turns that into responsibility, where she tries to provide, she tries to clean, she tries to help, she does everything in her power to make things easier for her brother Seita, and all she realizes all she cares about is Seita. She gets the last of her little gumdrop candy, and she realizes, I'm not going to eat all this candy right now. It's all we have left. I'm going to save some. I'm going to have the crumbs right now to satisfy my need for the candy, and I'm going to save the actual candies later. You get to watch her grow and understand that their situation is becoming more and more dire every day. Even though she's just a little kid, you get to see them both grow in that way and just work together and try to find some way to survive. Physically seeing that emotional growth is just something, it's very hard to do, especially in children. Now, let's going to talk about a couple things I didn't particularly like about it, and again, it's a Ghibli film. There's not much I don't like about these movies. The only thing that stood out to me mostly about this one was sometimes the pacing felt a little bit weird. Some scenes kind of felt like they came out of nowhere. Like, there was a scene where a couple of, like, neighborhood kids in, like, the nearby village, as they were living, like, an abandoned little shelter by the river, these neighborhood kids came by and just, like, looking at the camp that they're living in while they're not there and just kind of messing with their stuff. But there was no consequence for that. They just kind of left, and there was nothing came of that. So it just kind of felt like that scene was a little unneeded. I guess it was to add a bit of more realism to show that people stumble across their stuff and, you know, not care about this situation and just kind of like, oh, who would eat this crap, and kicking their stuff over, just being little assholes because they don't understand the situation, which is fine. But the scene ultimately just felt shoehorned in, like it just didn't need to be there, I guess. There was also a scene where, near the end of the movie, Seita is, like, lying down in their little cave area, and he's looking at all the fireflies, and he's just imagining the stars in the sky, and he's imagining that the fireflies are making, like, his dad's naval ship, and he's just going, like, boom, 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 yeah, I was like, oh, the Navy, and we're so proud, and all this, just, like, this miniature dream vision sequence of, like, the fireflies becoming the naval ship, and it just felt weird. It just, to me, is like, oh, I guess we're doing this now. It just kind of came out of nowhere, you know? There was no build-up. It was just no setup. They hadn't done anything like this before in the movie. It was just kind of like, and there's that scene. Then it just kind of ends in silence as Seita's just like, all somber and stuff, thinking about his dad. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of came out of nowhere. I get it was an emotional scene thinking about his dad and everything, and he doesn't know if his dad's alive or whatever have you. It just, the scene just felt very weird to me. But it wasn't bad. It still looked good, and it felt okay. And then the biggest thing I did not like about the movie was the aunt. Their aunt, or aunt, however you want to pronounce it. I say both. But their aunt was just such a despicable human being. I understand she took in the kids and times are hard, but she's like treating them like such crap, you know, after their mom died. And she just didn't give a crap about their mom dying. She's like, oh, you're here, oh, we're going to sell her dresses, we're going to sell their stuff and get some food, and you only get this much food, but you know, the rest of it's mine. But it's like, bitch, that was my mom's dress. All that money technically belongs to me, and you're portioning out the food that we bought with the money that we got from my mom's dress, and you're going to portion the food to me. Get the fuck out of here. You know, that pissed me off really bad. I'm just like, ooh, if eyes could kill, you would be in pieces right now. I don't know if it was just a combination of the voice actress, too, because she just had such a little bitchy tone to her that I just wanted to dope slap her, you know. Lastly, before we get to the final ranking for this movie, some notes. I have to tell you guys, the only one thing stood out to me in the way that I just kind of like jotted down a mental note, and that there was a nudity scene with Setsuko, you know, the little girl. There was a nudity scene. It was like her running around with like her clothes, without her clothes, just like drying off after she, you know, washed herself off in the river or whatever have you. And she's just running around. And I get it, you know, they're poor and they're, you know, they don't have anything, so they don't care. And it's to show the reality of, well, they don't have anything else to wear. She's drying her clothes by running around, holding it in the air and running circles, laughing and having a good time. And I have to say, there was nothing to be seen, you know, as it's weird to even talk about, but I feel like I just need to mention it so you're prepared, because I wasn't prepared for having like a 5-year-old naked on screen, but there wasn't anything to be seen, you know. It was like a little meaty potato girl just kind of running around like a little skinned potato. It was adorable to see because it's so realistic, you know. With my little sister, she would always run around naked with her towel and stuff. You chase her like, get the fuck back here, you little shit. So it's realistic and relatable. But I didn't see it come like, nudity, what the fuck? And I said to Sam, like, thank God they didn't draw nipples on her. Jesus, I'd feel super uncomfortable. But it's even uncomfortable to even talk about. It's just weird, so I just want to mention that, get it out of the way, that's a scene that's in the movie, but you don't have to worry, there's nothing weird. So if somebody walks in on you looking at this, they're like, you're immediately judged forever. So it only stays on screen for like a minute or two. It's not even a long scene, but... And one last thing in my notes before I get to the final score is... and again, when it comes to spoilers and stuff, this isn't even really a spoiler, because they literally say it at the beginning of the movie, and I wish they didn't do that, okay? At the beginning of the movie, they say that they're dead, and you see that both the main characters are obviously in an alternate plane of existence, kind of reliving their lives leading up to both their deaths. So both the characters, Seita and Setsuko, do die as a result of, you know, losing their parents, losing their home, and having to live on their own. Setsuko gets, like, really sick. She gets rashes, and it's so... I'm getting sad. It's so depressing to watch because they do it so well. They make it so realistic and stuff. But the movie starts off by telling you that they're dead and showing their ghosts, essentially, walking through and re-experiencing their lives. And I kind of wish they didn't do this. I wish it would have been a reveal. Like, you're going through the movie, seeing that they're suffering, and hoping that they find some way to make it out. That at least the little girl survives because of her brother's sacrifice or something. But no, they tell you at the beginning, this is how I died, or this is where I died, and it shows their ghosts and everything, and you get to live through leading up to their death. You're watching through all this knowing that these characters are going to die. And you're going to die horribly, and you're going to have to watch the little girl suffer, and you're going to have to see it. Fucking goddamn it. The movie made me cry so hard. I was like this the entire time, and Sam was sitting on my left side over here. For me, this is my left, and my left side was completely dry. My right side was a fucking torrent of water come down, like... I've never fought so hard to keep in emotion in my life. You know, and obviously when it comes, I don't like to see kids get hurt. It pains me to see kids experience anything negative, because I just wonder, I'm an adult, and I have siblings, and I have a family, and I feel the need to protect and to safeguard their happiness and their existence in this cruel, cruel world. So I hate to see kids in pain, and something about little girls in pain is just worse because they have, like, I guess, higher pitched voices, and they're just much cuter than boys. I don't know. I can't say that without sounding creepy, but little girls are just so much cuter, because I have a little baby sister, so I guess I can relate on that way of wanting to protect a little girl. Seeing this fucking Setsuko just go through all that stuff is just like, say to do whatever you can to protect her, to keep her alive. And there's even a scene in the movie where it's like they bring her to a doctor, and the doctor's just like, she's just malnutrition, just get her out of here. Like, the doctor didn't give a damn. That was just like heartbreaking. It's like, it's more than that, man. Give her more than 1 second of evaluation. You looked at her fucking rib cage, you looked at her back, it's covered in rashes and sores. You know it's more than that, but you just don't care. And it's the time period, it's the war, it's a goddamn depressing movie. And that's what I'm ending on. 8 out of 10 for this movie. I loved it. I would watch it again, but I'd have to watch it with 3 boxes of napkins and probably be on antidepressants to watch this movie again, because goddamn it. Final thoughts, guys. Great movie. Sometimes odd pacing. Really emotional, and just, it's a good movie. 8 out of 10. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you want to see more reviews, go ahead and click the link at the end of the video, and maybe in the description if I remember to put it there, because I always forget. But leave a like if you enjoyed, share with a friend, subscribe for more, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. Later.